A new low for Meghan Markle as she releases a catastrophically embarrassing, truly cringe-worthy video of her dancing and doing something called twerking, which I don't know what that means because I'm in my 50s, in her hospital room as she awaits the arrival of Lily. And of course, she involves that prize royal numpty Prince Harry. So on Instagram, by the way, she's obsessed with Instagram. She lives on that thing. She posted the following message. 4 years ago today, she wrote, "This also happened. Both of our children were a week past their due dates. So when spicy food, all that walking and acupuncture didn't work, there was only one thing left to do." So let's take a look at this horror show in all its glory. We've got the full video. I can only hope that you're not eating your breakfast, lunch or dinner as we speak. And if you are of a sensitive disposition and don't want to watch third-rate celebrities humiliate themselves, look away now. Okay, so here we are. We're in the hospital room. She's supposed to be expecting a baby, but she's on her feet. By the way, yes, it's a maternity dress, but it looks like evening wear. Is she going out afterwards? Now, look, she's jiggling around. I don't think that's safe for the baby. This is embarrassing. And now look at this fool. I mean, seriously, Harry, have you no dignity? Now she's cradling the baby. Harry, can you please go away? This is truly embarrassing. You are the son of the King of the United Kingdom. Thousands of years of British tradition going down the toilet thanks to your ego and that of your outrageous wife. Look at this now. Meghan, what on earth are you doing? You're endangering the baby. This is reckless. And it's also unclassy. It's cheap. It's trashy. I'm so sorry. It's trashy. Please. Do you know what really bothers me? This looks rehearsed. They've actually practiced this because neither of them have jobs, let's not forget. What are you doing? The idea that we call this pair the Duke and Duchess of anything. They are the Duke and Duchess of embarrassment. I mean, look, Harry, all dignity is gone. What does William think when he watches his brother? Please, no! That's obscene. Oh my goodness, where to start? First of all, if I was a billionaire, I would deploy all of my resources to have every copy of that shocking video, that video nasty, destroyed. Truly embarrassing. I'm going to get PTSD from having seen that. And I'd like to officially apologise on behalf of the Mark Dolan Show for putting you through that nightmare as well. Truly embarrassing, truly shocking. So lots to unpick. First of all, this was 4 years ago. This was 2021. Why was Meghan videoing this? Why would you video a very private moment, which is the eve of the birth of your child? And why would you do it in such a choreographed way? So Harry and Meghan, they do have a lot of time on their hands. They're remarkably unproductive people because what is Harry? Harry is a dim-witted aristocrat, isn't he, really? Probably a nice enough guy, but as thick as two short planks. So he hasn't really got a couple of brain cells to rub together. He's got nothing going on. There's no business empire. His TV ideas were called embarrassing and he's been dumped by his own charity. Sent to Bali amid bullying allegations. So he's not busy. And of course, Meghan, we know, she starts a business. It lasts about 3 minutes. Boom, she pulls the plug. So they've obviously had time to do this ridiculous rehearsal. And that's really bad because if it was a moment of spontaneous madness, then I could forgive it because we all have moments of spontaneous madness, don't we? Especially if we are in drink. If you've had a couple of glasses of rosé or prosecco, or if you've been enjoying Budweiser, which is the king of beers, then naturally we can get up to stuff that's a little bit embarrassing. But that's forgivable, isn't it? These two have sat there and they've worked out the moves in advance. This has been choreographed. Who knows? They might have brought in someone from Broadway or the West End to actually tell them where to stand and how to move and all the rest of it. It's truly shocking. And so you've got that it was pre-planned. So that means that Harry didn't have a reflection for just a moment. He didn't sit and think, oh, wait a minute. I am the Duke of Sussex. My father is the king of, actually at the time, to be fair, my father was the Prince of Wales. Soon to be, or at some point in the next couple of years, my father will be the king of the United Kingdom. And he thinks it's a good idea to do something called twerking which is incredibly erotic. In fact, I'm a bit worried because this show is either a PG or it's a U. It's available to everyone. Bring the kids in. They might learn something. So this is a very clean, family-friendly show. We don't curse. We don't use dark language or dark material. There's no violence. It's a very, very friendly watch, isn't it? It's like a Disney movie, The Mark Dolan Show, without the corny songs. And I will always love you. Ooh. So that's fine. How much have I now got to pay Dolly Parton for that little burst, by the way? I don't care how much because it's worth every penny. And I love Dolly. By the way, Dolly tied up in a Meghan Markle story in just a moment. Stay tuned. It's a big show today. Lots to get through. So he has sat there and he has decided, yes, I'm going to rehearse this twerking, which is an erotic form of dancing, which involves wiggling your bottom around, your posterior, your God-given backside, and indeed your frontal bits as well, your reproductive organs. All right? This is what you're wiggling around to the world. So undignified, not remotely classy. And Prince Harry is, what is he, fifth, sixth in line to the throne? I mean, seriously, what were you thinking? So it's been planned, been preconceived. It demonstrates a few things because this is not Harry's style. Harry was in the military and he's a member of the royal family. His grandmother was Queen Elizabeth. This is not the kind of thing he would do. And it demonstrates that even in 2021, he was so under the spell of Meghan Markle that he could possibly think that it was a good idea to be in a hospital room, wiggling his private bits around, his crown jewels, his glistening balls. Hello, my love. Would you like to see my glistening balls? My crown jewels, my love. He thought that that was appropriate. And that is how the extent to which he's lost his judgment in that relationship. It's like a cult. Because, you know, in a cult, you get crazy behavior. So, for example, you get couples that join cults, right? So there's a lunatic at the heart of it, a man normally with a long beard who thinks he's Jesus. And he's got maybe 50 or 60 people in a warehouse for months and years on end, and they all think he's the Messiah, and they'll do anything for him. You have married men that become part of this cult, and they offer up their own wives to the Jesus figure, to the leader of the cult, as some kind of religious absolution, right? You've got you grown men, married men, offering their wives and their wives' bodies to the leader quite happily, saying, take her, she's yours, because we're all going to heaven. So that's what a cult is. It makes people do crazy things. And it makes people agree to crazy things and think that crazy things are normal and quite sensible. That's happened to Harry, because Meghan has made him think that it was a really good idea to call the royal family racist. Meghan has made him think it was a good idea to attack the British media and to sue the British media. Meghan Markle made Harry think it was a good idea to visit his Uncle Charles, Big Charlie Spencer, the C-bomb himself, no less than Chaz, Big Charlie Spencer, the Spencerator. And he's gone to Charles Spencer, Diana's brother, and he said, oh, hello, Uncle Charlie. I'm the world's least happy millionaire. He's gone to his Uncle Charlie and said, do you think I could change my name from Mountbatten Windsor to Spencer? Harry thought it was a good idea to go and see his uncle and to consider and explore the possibility of relinquishing the name Mountbatten Windsor, which must surely be the most venerated surname in the history of the world. Is there a better surname with more pedigree and class than Mountbatten Windsor? I mean, it's Mountbatten Windsor. If that's not a mic drop, it was unsuccessful. Mountbatten Windsor is the surname to have. Harry thinks it's a good idea to get rid of Mountbatten Windsor and change his name to Spencer. And he thinks it's a good idea because he's in a cult led by Meghan Markle. Hello, I call him my my husband. That's a cult. You're in a cult when you do crazy things that you wouldn't normally do because you are under the spell. You've been brainwashed, you've been manipulated. And Harry thinks it's a good idea in 2021 to do something called twerking, which involves jiggling his golden, whatever you call them, his golden balls in the air. He thought that was a good idea. Can I just remind you, folks, that Queen Elizabeth was alive at this time? Queen Elizabeth was, in fact, the leader of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. She was the Queen of the United Kingdom and alive and well when he's in a hospital room in California wiggling his crown jewels around. And he thought that was a good idea. With Queen Elizabeth ruling a good chunk of the free world. Meanwhile, he's in a hospital doing obscene and filthy acts. Okay? Quite shocking. I mean, honestly, this is a family-friendly show. That video was X-rated, right? This particular edition of the Mark Dolan Show isn't a show. The Mark Dolan Show today, it's an 18, thanks to Harry and his obscenity. But he thought it was a good idea. And by the way, this reminds me of that video that Meghan did early on in their move to Montecito, California, in which she's doing a video with an influencer friend. And Harry was juggling balls at the window. Do you remember that? She had him outside the house looking through the window like a sad, miserable so-and-so that he is, juggling balls. Oh, hello, my love. And what was that designed to do? That demeans him. This is a guy, he's Prince Harry, one of the most famous men in the world. At one point, the most famous member of the royal family ahead of Elizabeth. He was actually more popular than Elizabeth back in the day. We liked him because he was the fun prince. He was the prince that we would all be. If you woke up one day, or maybe if you featured in one of those life swap movies, and you wake up and suddenly you're a prince, and you're going to have some fun with it. And that's what Harry did. He drank beer, he chased women, he was in the military, he enjoyed his life. He was a lovable rogue and very popular. So Meghan's changed all that. And what she's done now with this twerking video and with the juggling at the window back in the day, the Montecito mansion, is that she's demeaning him, she's dehumanizing him, she's trivializing him. The guy has become a shadow of his former self. He's an embarrassment now. He is nothing more than her bag carrier if he's lucky. That's all he gets to do. So let me remind you that when he twerks, the Queen's alive. Can I also tell you that when he's twerking on camera, this is 8 weeks after the passing of Prince Philip, one of the greatest men to ever stride this planet. Prince Philip, what a hero, what a brave man, military hero, and a rock to Queen Elizabeth for her 7-decade reign. Prince Philip, a witty man, dry humour, highly intelligent, moral courage, a remarkable physical specimen. Have you seen pictures of Prince Philip when he was younger? What a dashing, handsome man he was. Impossibly handsome. And the Queen was so in love with him from the beginning, right up until the end. It was one of the great love affairs of all time, was Philip and Elizabeth. He's been gone 8 weeks when Harry records this vile, obscene video. 8 weeks after Philip. Now, you would expect that Harry would still be in mourning for his grandfather at that point, a true icon of British history. 8 weeks is no time for bereavement, is it? And even if Harry is not bereaved after 8 weeks, if he's over it, which you shouldn't be, but if he is, he could even spare a thought for his grandmother Elizabeth, who was still grieving and still wearing black. And in that context, 8 weeks after the death of Philip, he goes on a twerking competition. So that's Harry, who should know better, but his brain's not working anymore. But what about Meghan? So why has Meghan videoed this? It's very clear that even then, back in 2021, she was planning a massive assault on social media. This was a career move all those years ago. This is the master plan. It started when she came to the UK as a Z-list unknown actress. And with the help of people like Piers Morgan, she gets introduced to the social scene. She then dumps Piers Morgan. She finds Harry, seduces him, brainwashes him, uses that global health crisis thing from 20 to 23 to get in his head because he wasn't around other people, very isolated. Perfect opportunity to start a cult. I think you'll agree. The global health crisis. So that's what happened. But it means that Meghan's been planning this for so long. And the Mark Dolan Show, by the way, understands how strategic Meghan Markle is. She's not just ambitious and gets what she wants. She's strategic too. Proof of that being that the amazing work she's been doing in the last few months to build her own brand, because it's my view and the view of this show that she's planning life post Harry already, and the divorce is priced in terms of her planning. That is a fact, because she's got the babies now. She's got the fame. She's got the Duchess title. She's got the pedigree, thanks to her inherited family. She doesn't need Harry anymore. And at some point, she'll have money too when she sells that book for $100 million. The book will be Meghan Markle, My Story. So she videoed this in 2021, demonstrating just how ambitious she is, that she'll be like, this is going to be useful to me in a few years' time. And that's how she thinks. That's how she plans ahead. So she records the video in 2021, doesn't release it till 2025. That's how patient she is. That's how strategic she is. She waits 4 years sitting on this material before she then drops it, exactly like one of the famous Mark Dolan Show mic drops. So it tells us, this is Lily. We already had Archie. Now we've got Lily on the way. And that the child hasn't even been born yet. But it demonstrates that Meghan will monetize everything that she can get her hands on, including the pregnancy. So she was cashing in on Lily before she was even born. The baby's not out yet, and already it has a pecuniary value. This unborn creature is available to the highest bidder. The embryo within is a branding opportunity and a potential cash cow for the Duchess, for Duchess difficult herself, Meghan Markle. My husband! Truly shocking. So, she's strategic. And here's the other thing. Meghan is reckless. Have you looked at that dancing? That is dangerous. That will endanger the unborn child. But this is the same Meghan Markle who staggered around in stilettos and high heels 8 months into the pregnancy. A provable hazard, incredibly reckless and dangerous and wrong. This is the same Meghan Markle who takes Archie and Lily beekeeping, collecting her disgusting honey that no one wants, that no one buys, by sending those two into the line of fire and 20,000 angry bees. Is that a good idea for a 3 or 4-year-old or a 6-year-old? To send them into the line of fire for a swarm of angry hornets. Apparently, that's modern parenting. Make it make sense. So it's hazardous to dance around like this. Also, who is filming it? Because it's not Harry and it's not Meghan. So is there a nurse that they've co-opted? A nurse that could be giving life-saving treatment to another patient in the hospital, right? There's some old guy having a coronary. He's like, call the nurse, I can't breathe. I'm having a massive coronary. I'm a 67-year-old man from Los Angeles. I'm having a massive coronary. Where are all the nurses? Where are the nurses gone? I'm having a huge coronary in this expensive hospital. Where are the nurses? I'll tell you where the nurses are. The nurses are in Harry and Meghan's little emergency room filming a twerking session. Like a dance competition on TV. The nursing team. It could have been some surgeon that was filming it. Someone that should have been giving that poor man, the 67-year-old American from Los Angeles, life-saving treatment. Instead, the surgeon's there in his scrubs, filming these two fools These absolute abject lunatics in a twerking competition. So it's hazardous, it's dangerous. Can I also say it won't do much for the theories about Meghan's pregnancy, because there are some people that think that she didn't have the babies, that she had a hysterectomy in her 20s, that was a moon bump, that she went on Amazon to buy this pretend baby. And I don't think that's not my view, but it's the view of plenty of people, including many of you in the comments. And so I don't know. I'm not a gynecologist. I'm very, very unqualified in that department. That area of female biology is no comprende. Amo ne comprende il ginecologia di lady reproductivio in the lady regione of the lady womb. Ladies and gentlemen, the gynecologicalia is not my area. Of the lady area is not my area at all. Dos veces, por favor. You see, I struggle talking about the female physiology. I find uncomfortable. It's not my area of expertise, and neither is Harry's. So what's he doing, prancing around with his twerking activity when he should be caring for Meghan? He should be saying, "My love, sit down, lie in the bed, you're about to have a baby. You're not Britney bloody Spears. Okay, love? Just lie down." And he should be playing classical music, and he should be sort of massaging her feet. He should be dabbing her brow with a damp flannel. And instead, he thinks he's John Travolta. It's truly embarrassing. The Queen's alive. Prince Philip gone for 8 weeks. And Harry thinks that's appropriate. Meghan taking huge risks. And it just shows how the couple trivialise things. They're very trivial people, because anything could have happened. You know, that video, right? May God forbid, and thank goodness, right? Can I just say that bless Lily and bless Archie. I bet they're gorgeous kids, and I wish them well in life. But if, God forbid, something had happened to Lily after the birth, God forbid, and luckily it didn't, but if something had happened, can you imagine how incriminating and how embarrassing that video would be if someone got hold of it? Let's imagine that Lily's birth was not successful, and then that video of the twerking surfaced years later. Can you imagine? That would be devastating. I don't think that the couple would ever live it down. Having a baby is a very serious and ambitious and solemn thing to do. Having a baby is solemn, isn't it? It's a solemn thing to do. And the reason why is because there's a lot of peril. It's not an easy thing to get a baby out of a lady. I mean, I don't want to give you details. I no comprende di ginecologiche. The ginecologiche ne comprende ginecologica comprende niente. Dos cervezas, por favor. Ginecologica niente. So, it's truly shocking. And Meghan pairs it with yesterday's terrible post, where she's sharing intimate photos of her and Lily. Where's Harry? Not to be seen. Just pictures of Lily and Meghan. 4 years ago today, she came into our lives, and each day is brighter and better because of it. Thanks to all of those sending love and celebrating her special day. By the way, she mentions that was in her birthday post for Lily. Thanks to all of those sending love and celebrating her special day. Look, I wish Lily well. She's 4. Who is celebrating Lily's birthday that isn't a member of the family? Are they just like random people in Oklahoma? Are there people in Oklahoma celebrating Lily's birthday? The public don't care. Who's celebrating? What kind of weird freak show of a human being would celebrate Harry and Meghan's baby's birthday that wasn't either a close friend or a relative? No one's celebrating. Those are the delusions of grandeur of Duchess Difficult. Truly shocking, but there you go. Nothing would surprise me from this couple. But can I tell you, folks, that things are going not in Harry and Meghan's direction at the moment, and in particular in regards to Meghan herself. Because let me tell you, Kinsey Schofield is an extraordinary broadcaster. The To Die For Daily TV show, podcast, right? Kinsey is one of the world's best commentators on royal matters. Check her out on YouTube, her podcast, and everything. She's a good friend of mine. She was regular on my TV show back in the day. Kinsey Schofield exclusively revealed on The Nerve with Maureen Callaghan, who's another brilliant journalist, that Meghan allegedly approached none other than Dolly Parton to appear on her Netflix show With Love, Meghan, and that Dolly said no. Okay, Kinsey told Maureen Callaghan, Dolly's team were livid. The quote is, they don't want to risk Dolly's epic popularity by associating with Meghan Markle. Well, we know that to be true because Dolly Parton has had a long, successful career. Why would she risk it by going on the With Love Meghan show, which is completely fake? It's all scripted. None of those people are her friends. Normally, she attacks people when they come on the show. Don't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex. She's awful in the show. She spills milk. She drops food on the floor. She's incompetent. She can't cook, which is why she always has to go to Wendy's to get a takeout for the family, which is Harry's favourite. And so the show was terrible. She's an awful TV host. Why would someone like Dolly Parton want to participate in that rubbish? Dolly Parton is a genius. Dolly Parton has written over 3,000 songs. She began writing songs at the age of 5. She's one of my favourite singers. And she's an incredible songwriter. People don't realise that. They think of Dolly Parton with the big hair and the décolletage neo comprende ginecologica. Sí? Dos cervezas, por favor. In ginecologica. She's not just a brilliant singer with a curvaceous physique and amazing hair. She's a songwriter. And she's written Jolene, 9 to 5, and the original I Will Always Love You, which Whitney Houston turned into a mega hit. Do you think that Dolly Parton, an icon of country music, needs Meghan Markle? It's almost an insult that they invited her on the show. And well done, Dolly, for turning her down. Dolly Parton, by the way, best ever story. Dolly Parton wrote I Will Always Love You. And I will always love you. And I will always love you. Guinea ecologica, si no comprende ginecologica. That was a great song, I Will Always Love You. So Dolly sang it and it was a hit. I prefer Dolly's version, by the way, if you're interested. I think it's a really nice version that she did originally. It's more pared down. Stunning song. So Dolly sold about 3 million copies of that when it was an original hit. It was then covered by Whitney Houston and it sold 25 million copies. The whole song has generated around $70 million in income, $15 million of which Dolly Parton got as the writer, because so Dolly wrote that song, Whitney Houston sings it. Well, if you sing a song that was written by someone else, you have to give the writer of the song a huge chunk of the money. So Dolly Parton made $15 million from I Will Always Love You. And, and basically, it's an incredible story because she wrote it. And originally, she offered it to Elvis Presley. And Elvis said, I love this song, I'll sing it. And Dolly couldn't believe it because she wasn't famous at that point. She was just an up-and-coming star. And we've got Elvis, the king of pop, to agree to sing her song. You realise if Elvis agrees to sing your song, it's going to be a hit, you're going to make money, and you'll be famous, and you have the cachet of having written for Elvis. So Elvis agreed to sing I Will Always Love You. This is years and years and years ago, before even Dolly did a version of it. And the day before the recording, so the studio is booked, Elvis is booked in to do the recording. The night before, Dolly gets a call from Colonel Parker, who was Elvis Presley's rather corrupt and strange manager, who didn't let Elvis tour in Europe. He never came to the UK. He was a strange, weird, controlling man, Colonel Parker. And Colonel Parker called Dolly the night before what was going to be the best day of her life, which is watching. She was going to go down to the studio, watch Elvis record her song. And Colonel Parker said, oh, by the way, Elvis has to have publishing on this. And she said, what do you mean? He said, well, Elvis gains ownership of the song. If he sings it, he has to own the song, because we won't sing anything that we don't take ownership of. And Dolly said, wait, you're asking me to give away my song if Elvis sings it? And he said, yes. She said, I can't do that. And that was so brave of Dolly, because this would have been a big career moment for her. It's only one song. You could write another 100. But she knew it's a good song, and she didn't want to give up her own material, the rights, the publishing rights to her own song. So she turned it down, and she turned down Elvis, and the whole thing was cancelled. Well, isn't she clever? Because all these years later, that's the biggest song that she's ever written. It generated $70 million in income, 15 million of which she pocketed. And she was able to say that she bought her entire publishing back catalogue with the money she made from that one song. Isn't she clever? The other great thing, by the way, that Meghan Markle could learn from Dolly Parton is that she had an incredible marriage to Carl Dean. She met Carl Thomas Dean outside a laundromat in Nashville in 1964. She was 18, he was 21. They married 2 years later in a secret ceremony, and he ignored the spotlight for her whole career. He only saw her perform once in public. He's like, honey, I don't like music concerts. I'll stay home and I'll go fishing. I'll stay home and I'll go fishing. So he was so not interested in showbiz, and it was the perfect counterbalance to her crazy life, because she'd go on tour, she'd have all these hits, and she would come home to this lovely, normal, real husband who was devoted to her. And it was not showbiz, it was just authentic living. And it was a great love affair. 57 years until his sad passing. So Dolly once said, he always loved me for me, not Dolly Parton, the star. They renewed their vows after 50 years of marriage. By the way, Dolly, you know, she's got a theme park, Dollywood in Tennessee, amusement park. She's never been on the rides because they make her dizzy. And here's your fun fact. Dolly once entered a drag queen Dolly Parton lookalike contest and lost. She's given away 220 million books as part of her charity Imagination Library to help kids with literacy. And her beauty routine is mythical. She sleeps in a full face of makeup in case there's an earthquake or emergency where she may be photographed. That's showbiz. That is Dolly Parton. That's class, that's pedigree, that's integrity, that's talent. None of which Harry and Meghan have, which is why their disgusting video is so appalling, so unacceptable. Can't wait to see you for tomorrow's video, and it'll be 4:45 p.m. UK time. As always, it will be 8:45 a.m. on the US West Coast and 11:45 a.m. on the US East Coast. And it will be late night or early morning down under, depending on where you are. Loving this. Please get the comments in. Let me know your thoughts about this video. What you like and what you don't like. What you agree with, what you don't agree with. No one gets cancelled. Not on my watch. I'll see you for the next one. And goodbye for now. And I